ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 8 of Swiss Army Sports. Today is the 21st night of September, here on a beautiful Sunday evening after a full slate of college football, the NFL, and finally back, some preseason hockey. I'm your host, Will Spain, former long snapper for the Ossipee Governors, Troy Trojans, and slightly Houston Cougars, joined by my side by Luke Wallman, former offensive lineman for the Hendricks College Warriors. Luke is donning the Joe Hayden Browns jersey today in honor of their defiant victory against the evil Green Bay Packers.
We love to see it.
We do.
The Packers have made me cry on so many occasions. It's not even funny. I love it when the Packers lose.
Me as well. I am donning the Jay Jettis Vikings jersey. I was previously wearing today the Dak Prescott jersey as we've worn the season for the Dallas Cowboys. But we will get into that with more NFL talk later. So, what are we going to get into today, Luke? We got our Week 4 recap. Who's on the hot seat Week 4? Our panic meter making its Week 4 return. The top 25. The best top 25 in the land gives its Week 5 appearance. NFL Week 3 recap. Then the NFL teams of the week and the teams that are weak for Week 3. Our Monday Night Football review and best bets. A little NHL preseason recap and the best things that happened to us this weekend. So, kicking us off, the picks of the week. Luke,
Had a good week.
you had a good week. The records underneath our names are, as of last week, this week, Luke. Good job, 5-2.
Steadily getting better.
Absolutely. I was right behind you at 4-3. Michael, bad week. The producer, 3-4. I'll start off by talking about that Texas Tech Utah game. Backup quarterback in for Texas Tech. Turned it around for him. Morton, who was my breakout player of the week, did not start off playing well. And Texas Tech was able to go out there, get a 34-10 win against the Utah team we were pretty high on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that says a lot more about the defense the Red Raiders have. Not your typical Big 12 defense that you're used to seeing giving up 30, 40 points a week at the minimum against conference opponents. It also says a lot to their depth at quarterback, able to go out there and put 34 points against on a team we thought was going to be pretty good in Utah. But really, I think the story of the game, Luke, was it's the same old Utah offense we've been seeing when it comes to big games, especially in conference games. Utah may not be as bad as we thought. What are your takes on the game?
I think quarterback play, this is like, he's been looking great. Dan Pierce looked great all year, but this was the game where he's got to take that next step, show that he can be a high-level quarterback. And going 25-38 for 162 yards and 2 picks is not it. Because they've done it in the past. Their defense has always been good, but when your defense is out there for 90% of the game, you're going to struggle late in this game, and that's where the Texas Tech 24-point fourth quarter came into play.
100%. Moving on, the Big Blue, Michigan, headed in to Corn territory. Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, took them down 30-27. A little bit of a nail biter. Big Blue Nation and Biff Poggi able to get it done, Luke. Talk to me about your Big Blue.
Same thing that I said coming in. They're going to kill them on the ground. Justice Haynes, 149 on 17 carries and a touch. I know Jordan Marshall also had a big run. Jordan Marshall rushed for 80 yards and a touchdown. Bryce Underwood also had a big run. He had 60 yards and a touchdown. The rushing game was there. Now, Raiola threw all over us, but it's all right. I told you we were going to run it down their throats. That's exactly what we did. We stuck to the Michigan identity, ended up closing out this game. It's a good win.
So, I agree. Good win for the Blue. I was actually more impressed with Nebraska coming out of this game than I was Michigan.
Yeah.
I think where there's some obvious concerns with Bryce Underwood right now, 12 for 22, 105 yards, not the greatest game as a quarterback. Now, he did rush for 60. And maybe that's a product of them not having to throw the ball the way they were running the ball. But my worry for Michigan is And it's a little bit of a like, this is what makes me excited about Nebraska is Raiola going for 30 for 41 for 308 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, if it weren't for that one pick, Nebraska could win this football game. And I saw a lot of hate on social media today, scrolling on Twitter, that the Matt Rule effect, year 3, his team takes off. It's not going to happen because of this loss against Michigan for Nebraska. And granted, strength of schedule may come into play, and to where it doesn't happen. I mean, they've got Penn State, they got a good USC team, but I'm not writing this Nebraska team off quite yet, just because this was a competitive football game against a Michigan team that you were at least very big on at the beginning of the year, and I thought was going to go 9-3. So I don't think people should be so hasty to judge the quote-unquote Matt Rule effect in Nebraska. This is a good football team, and we saw a good football game in one of the Fox games at least. Luke, any more to add?
I mean, Nebraska, you, as a fan, you kind of, I'm not saying it, you don't want to expect this. They haven't won a ranked opponent since what?
Yeah.
2019 or something. It's like something stupid. They've lost 26 straight of its ranked opponents. I mean, Raiola played great, except for obviously that interception, but like he played great. And I think this is a good sign because you got Michigan State, who's not very. You can
beat Maryland.
Yes, you can beat
You
Maryland.
can beat Minnesota.
Same with Minnesota, Northwestern. Then you're heading into USC. One loss potentially could get back into the rankings in the poll, and you got to see where you can go from there. Because if you beat USC, and then obviously,
if you're sitting at 9-1 heading into Penn State,
I mean, there's a chance. And Penn State hasn't looked the greatest. I mean, it looks like they should have kept Purbulla instead of Aller. So like you said, I'm not writing this team off.
Yep, 100%. Next pick, we all had correct, just as we all had Michigan correct. Ole Miss hosted the Fighting John Summeralls in the Tulane Green Wave, and Ole Miss looked dominant. 45-10 victory against Tulane. Now, the only thing I have to say about this game, it's an out-of-conference P5, G5 matchup. Well, P4 in the Big 25. Soon to be P5 again, but we'll get it. Ole Miss looked great. However, they really didn't turn it up that level until like the last third of that game, like last half of the third quarter, then the fourth quarter.
22-point third or fourth quarter.
Yeah, so I mean that's very Lane Kiffin, to try to run the score up at the end when he knows a G5 team ain't gonna have the same depth as he does. So he's trying to make that scoreline prettier for the college football playoff. But still, I was so impressed with Trinidad Chambliss.
Oh, I know.
2 touchdowns, 307 yards, something like that.
And 100 on the ground.
Yeah, 100 on the ground.
I mean,
so,
they found their quarterback in Oxford.
So I think the real question we have is Tulane. Are they the G5 contenders? We thought they were. I mean, Retzloff looked horrible.
Yeah.
5 for 17, 56 yards. They had to bring in the backup, who went 5 for 12. Is Tulane. Now, was this a product of we're going to play Ole Miss, this is why we struggled? Or is this Tulane team not as legit as we thought?
Man, honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. Because I do think Ole Miss is obviously a very solid team, and they're top 15 in the country. And, you would have thought with Tulane, he played at BYU. He's been in the big moment, and he could probably throw it around and compete a little here. But obviously that was not the case.
Obviously.
I'd be a little worried. But then again, I mean, with how the American has shown this year, like we obviously thought they were going to be like the worst conference in football. I'd be a little worried because North Texas looks good. Memphis looked good. But they have to play Memphis, UTSA, and then I guess you could throw ECU in. But they really don't have to play a whole bunch of good teams. They got to play Tulsa, who just beat Oklahoma State. But
I think that says more about Oklahoma State than Tulsa.
Yes. But, I mean, I don't think I'd be worried as a Tulane fan yet.
I agree. And we'll actually get into that, I believe. In the worst college football game of the night, I sat and watched as a pick of mine died a not even slow, quick, but extended painful death. The Illinois Fighting Illini headed into Bloomington and faced off against the Indiana Hoosiers. Across the board, we went with Illinois, and across the board, we were very, very wrong. 63-10. The Indiana Hoosiers defeated Illinois. Fernando Mendoza, who will be spoken about later, went 21 for 23, 267 yards, and 5 big touchdowns for the Indiana Hoosiers. Altmaier, here's my thing about Illinois. Altmaier didn't look bad. He had no time in the pocket. Indiana was getting constant pressure. They could not establish the run at all. I mean, Altmaier was fighting for his life back there. And I think the moral of this story was Indiana has one of the best D-lines in the Big Ten. And Illinois' offensive line is struggling big time. They could not get any sort of production up front, could not establish the run, and got pressured on darn near every drop back Altmaier had.
Had 7 sacks.
7 sacks. Indiana's legit. And, I mean, this isn't like the same Indiana team from last year. I'm going to go ahead and say that now. This Indiana team is legit. Luke, what'd you take away?
I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I was not in the right state after the Memphis game, so I fell asleep in the first quarter after. But looking at over everything, I woke up at about 2 in the morning after my little nap. And
what a nap.
Yes, I know. And I opened up my phone because I'm like, oh, they had Illinois covered. Because when I went to bed, it was like 7-7 or 7-14 or something.
It was competitive for a little bit.
And then I'm like, oh, that's not any money in my bank account. And then I'm like, oh, they absolutely bent them over. That is completely shocking because I was not high on Indiana.
Me neither.
Because Old Dominion, obviously it beat Tech, but whatever, you barely beat them. And then they hadn't played anybody. So I was like, oh my God, I'm in shock. I think.
Yeah, I think when we were picking this game and talk about it before it happened, we all kind of thought the opposite was going to happen here, that Illinois would run the score up on Indiana and expose them. The exact opposite happened. And Big Ten, watch out. The Hoosiers are here, dude.
And in 2 weeks, they go to Oregon. So
I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Something to keep an eye on.
The Florida Gators headed into Hard Rock Stadium and faced off against the top 5 Miami Hurricanes. We went Miami across the board. We hit all that. Game was sloppy for a majority of it. Miami ended up pulling away at the end.
Yeah, Beck had the interception. I mean, I honestly thought that Miami would have gone how they did against USF in this game. And because Florida, what a dumpster fire. I mean, you had Lagway, 12 of 23 for 61 yards. That is horrendous as a Division I quarterback. And then he had 8 rushes for -8 yards. I mean, Napier, obviously they have probably the hardest schedule in the country. Napier might get fired.
I agree.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat. I mean, Beck, 17 for 30, 160 was nothing, shocking. I mean, Fletcher again, 24 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. The running game looks great. Offensive line looks great for Miami. Same stories we talked about last week. Offensive line looks great. Running game looks great. Beck looks like a game manager, which is all he needs to do with this team right now. Defense looks incredible. Florida hung on there for way longer than I expected, and I think that's actually a glimpse of hope for Florida fans. Y'all are very hard on your football team for not being nationally relevant since Tim Tebow played.
Yeah.
Look, this Miami team is legit. They are a top 5 team in the country, without a doubt. Y'all hung in there on the road in a game y'all really weren't even supposed to be competitive in, despite the Vegas line. I mean, I threw the Vegas line out the door. Obviously, they know some ball, but
Vegas knows everything.
Yeah, they do. I think Florida, getting to a bowl game from here with your strength of schedule is going to be tough. But if you can keep the chemistry in the locker room going together, you will have some very competitive games going down the stretch against teams like A&M, Texas, State. I mean, they've got a 3-game stretch here of Texas, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State. All 3 winnable games for Florida, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially if Arch is, which I'll give him credit. He played really well this past week.
Okay, yes, Sam Houston.
But I know we're giving how he has looked. We're giving him a little credit. But that is going to set quarterback play back 30 years.
Oh, yeah, that game is going to be detrimental for quarterback play.
So hard to watch, but that is such a winnable game for Florida if Arch does not show up, which he probably won't. So, and then obviously A&M, I mean, A&M, I think, is good, but I always just have this sneaky feeling that A&M's going to blow a game.
They're going to blow something
Like,
eventually.
they just always do it. So, like, I think, what was it, a few years ago, it was Arkansas, and then last year, can't remember, they blew it against somebody last year, but they always drop a game they shouldn't.
They're just an 8-4 team.
Yes.
Next, in my opinion, the game of the night. Arizona State headed into Waco, Texas, and we took Baylor across the board. We were across the board yet again for the second time this week. All wrong. Arizona State has proved they are now a quality win for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Yeah, fist bump on that. They take down the Baylor Bears 27-24 and improved to 3-1. It wasn't Sawyer Robertson's fault, man. I mean, 25 for 39, 250, 3 touchdowns, one pick. The one pick was tough, but Arizona State was it was such a close game. Both these teams are very statistically close, and I think if they played this game again, Baylor wins. But Arizona State able to gut it down the road, get a 3-point victory against Baylor. Do I think this means Arizona State's back as the level they were last year? No. I do think this says a lot more about Baylor's defense inability to get a stop at all when it matters.
Yeah.
And if Baylor had anything that resembled a defense, this could be a top 15 team in the country with the offense they have going with Sawyer Robertson. Unfortunately, the defense is probably going to hinder Robertson's chances as a Heisman. And as much as that sucks, it has nothing to do with him, but that's just the reality of the voting world we live in.
Yeah. But, you got, as Arizona State fans, Kenny Dillingham, just that win is a very big confidence.
It's a big win.
Because you're getting back on track after not playing so well. You host TCU's in the top 25 in the AP poll. So, if you can go in, win that game, you might jump back into the rankings.
100%.
So, I think this is a great win, even though it's a not very good Baylor team, or we'll say average Baylor team, that we were very high on, but a very average Baylor team. It's a great win to get started with conference play and get a little boost. So,
100%. Finally, the game we were at, Arkansas. The Razorbacks headed in to the Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium and faced off against the Memphis Tigers. Me and the producer were wrong. We took Arkansas. I thought this game wasn't even going to be close, and for the longest time, it kind of looked like I was going to be right.
Yeah.
Arkansas dominated the first half, and then the Sam Pittman effect took into place, and they did not do anything in the second half. Memphis took advantage, and this is back-to-back weeks, guys. Arkansas has had the ball deep in opponent territory, pretty sure the red zone in both instances.
Inside the 15.
And fumbled with chances to win the game with almost guaranteed wins. It is despicable to have such a lack of ball security in key moments of the game. Why are you even extending your body on 2nd and 1 to try to get that first down? And low ball knowledge, low ball IQ, very disappointed in this Arkansas team.
Textbook punch out, though.
Textbook. It was textbook, but he
out.
gave it up for him. He gave it up for him. All credit to Memphis. If you've listened to anything in the national media lately, I can't believe this is even happening, to be honest with you, because it never happens for Memphis. There's a lot of glaze going on about them being the top G5 contender in the country. I wholeheartedly disagree. I do not even think they will make it to the American Championship game. But, as I told Luke, if they won this game, I would call them legit. And on this podcast, the Memphis Tigers are 4-0, and they are legit. However, you know who is not legit? Brendan Lewis. I'll let you take over.
No, I don't think Brendan Lewis is a very good quarterback. But one thing Memphis can do, they can run the damn ball.
They can run the damn ball.
And, that is going to carry them far. Because you got to think, I'm not comparing Memphis to Michigan, obviously. But Michigan was able to stay in a bunch of games last year because they could run the football. They could do it efficiently. That's why Memphis was in this game. They were able to run the football. Also, their defense stepped up tremendously in the second half. Arkansas scored 3 points in the whole second half after having a 21 or 28-point first half. That is a huge sign that they were able to hold that, I think, extremely good Arkansas offense to only 3 points.
Yeah. I think it was definitely an off day for Taylor Green, whether that was the Memphis defense making him uncomfortable or he just wasn't on. Because he did have 2 picks. He just wasn't on. And
Yeah.
the 2 picks he threw were not like spectacular defensive plays or like disguise coverages or anything. He
Safety just came over, made a good play, cut the ball off.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and then the second one, he just threw the ball to the guy.
No.
Like, threw the ball to the defender. So, Arkansas, if they take care of the football, they win the game. They didn't. Memphis is now on the G5 contender radar in the nation and definitely on Swiss Army Sports. Congratulations, Tigers.
and I will say this: it was beautiful. I had a lot to drink, and like all these Arkansas fans, we're like not in the main Arkansas section. That was
Brother, the entire stadium was the Arkansas section. I walked across to the other side
Oh, really?
and looked over, and I was like, this is why they're not in the Big 12. I mean, seriously talking, this is why Memphis is not in the Big 12. This entire stadium is red. I cannot imagine what this sees on TV.
All I could see was red in that corner, and then a somewhat red section that I was in. That's all I could see.
Yeah, so I thought the same because I was down low with all the season ticket holders, and it was mainly blue. But, like, I walked over, and, like, I was like, wow, this is a lot of red. Like, I don't know if it just stands out more, but then I realized, well, no, there's just not any empty seats there. Like, it's just a lot of red. And now, don't get me wrong, Arkansas's got a big fan base around the area, a lot of alumni. Fayetteville's not too far. They were going to show up for this game. I did not think they would show up in the capacity they did compared to the Memphis fans, but hey, all 5,000 Memphis fans rushed that field after that game after they got that dub.
Dude, we were sitting up there though, and like I've kind of jawed at this guy a little bit, and then they fumble, and I'm going, and like as they're walking out, and he's like just shaking his head and all. It was awesome. I was on cloud 9 because
It's the guy you were talking about.
a different guy. It was a random dude down like the section, but Sam Wilson was also in shambles. I'll show you some pictures of him later. It was bad.
I'm sure it was. Tough trip going to your hometown and losing to the G5 team. So, after 4 weeks, me and Luke are tied at the top of the leaderboard. The producer, who held a week 1 lead, has fallen to the bottom. Cannot wait for the punishment that presumably will be heading his way if results hold.
Long season.
I know. Little week 4 recap across the top 25 and some games I thought were worth mentioning. Tennessee doesn't cover. UAB backdoored us right at the end.
UAB quarterback played good too.
Yeah. Okay. So
300 plus.
funny story about Kitna, son of the NFL Kitna. Did you know that he was once a Florida football player, University of Florida? You know why he's no longer on the team?
Why?
Child porn. But he was caught with child porn. So, maybe we are officially not a fan of you on this podcast for even endorsing such behavior. Found that out Friday from a coach I work with. I could not believe we're going to have someone still in the league as the Chiefs just doinked a field goal in from 54.
How is he like?
Yep.
Not
Don't even know.
jail?
Don't even know. But Boo Blazers, which made me even root for Tennessee on Saturday, which was weird feeling.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Covered in Illinois, covered Ole Miss Tulane. We got to spend some time on this. Okay. John Mateer defeated the evil Auburn Tigers 24-17 controversially.
Yeah, I did not realize that this was a rule because I remember like Vandy, like when we were growing up, running this play where they kind of pulled the dude over. But I guess with the new sub rules, they can't do that.
Yeah, so I guess it was an adjustment, that rule.
Mm-hmm.
As a best friend and best man at his wedding of an Auburn alum, they were mad. The Auburn fans were mad.
But nobody cares about Auburn because they're all they all think they're the greatest thing to grace the earth. And
I know.
Relevant.
There's a reason I can't stand Auburn. So very glad they lost. Oklahoma 24, Auburn 17. Controversial or not, Auburn, you're on the losing board. Boomer Center. Oregon, yet again, does not cover against an inferior opponent. 41-7 against Oregon State in the Civil War. LSU took care of FCS in-state opponent Southeastern Louisiana State, or SELA. Miami took care of Florida. Florida State can score, dude. 66-10 over Kent State. Now, I know we're talking about Kent State, but they're scoring. I mean, they're dropping numbers against these bad teams. 66-6. I mean, I don't care who you're playing. Dropping 66
is absurd.
is absurd.
70 like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That offense is lethal.
Castellanos. Texas Tech did take care of Utah, 34-10. Orange Manning and the Texas Longhorns took care of Sam Houston State, 55-0, in a very lackluster game in terms of Sam Houston State as a program. They are awful. They may be the worst FBS team in the country. Notre Dame, in a little bit of a tight game against Barry Odom's Purdue Boilermakers. Although this Notre Dame-Purdue game is always like weirdly tight.
Yeah.
Not in this way, though. Shootout, 56-30, no defense in this one. And then my favorite spot of the night, the Vanderbilt Commodores took that loss last year personally as they hung 70 on the Georgia State Panthers to their 20. It was beautiful, beautiful. A really underrated, fun game to watch on Saturday night was Missouri hosting South Carolina. Won 29-20. Game was tight up until the end. Missouri able to get a stop, score, and that was pretty much it. Michigan did take care of Nebraska, 30-27. In the bad beat of the college football weekend, Temple scored with 3 seconds left to cover against Georgia Tech.
Seriously?
Yes. Remember I was telling you that was the best cash out of all time. I cashed out Georgia Tech. I was like, man, they're gonna get beat by the hook here. Temple's gonna score. They did with 3 seconds left. 45-24. USC
did not cover. I think Michigan State also scored late to end up covering.
Yeah. They did 45-31. This game was kind of close, though, for a long time. USC can absolutely score. Obviously, either Michigan State's a little bit better than we thought. I mean, and they were undefeated coming into this game. Yeah. But either they're a little bit better than we thought, or USC just can't play defense.
Which it could be either or.
Could be either or.
Lincoln Riley's not really known for it, so.
Yep. Out of the top 25 now, Memphis took care of Arkansas 32-31. A team that is now starting to catch my attention.
Yeah.
Scott Frost.
He's back.
He's so back. UCF. Welcome back. 34-9 over Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Now, granted, I do not think North Carolina is good at all.
Yeah.
But UCF, 3-0.
I will say, too, they need to start Johnson over Lopez. I mean, Johnson looks like the much more poised quarterback with throwing the ball in that offense than Lopez does. Lopez looks awful. I'd bench him. But they're paying him so much money, I think they kind of have that obligation.
I don't think they do have an obligation with Bill Belichick. I think he will do what's right for the team. And you can see Max Johnson going out there and playing for the Tar Heels next week. And our shocker of the night was, I thought Cal was going to be a good football team this year.
Yeah.
Could have the chance of, sneakily running the table. We talked about it last week in the pod.
They could have been going into, what was their big game? It was I think it was FSU or something crap, 7-0. And, game day could have been there. But I had them in my parlay, and they absolutely sold. They were the only team that didn't hit.
34-0 on the road at San Diego State is atrocious.
Yeah.
For a Power 4 team going on the road on a G5 school. San Diego State, we did not think this would be very good this year. Maybe they are. They hung a goose egg on Cal, 34-0. And then, go ahead.
Yeah, the freshman quarterback, I'm not even going to try to say his name.
We're going to call him JKS.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to pronounce it, but he's been really good this year, and he just looked awful last night. He threw 2 picks, 17-38. I mean, that's not enough to get it done.
No, it is not. And Cal looked awful. In the comeback of the week, the Buffalo Bulls were up 17-0 into the fourth quarter, around the 13-minute or so mark. The mighty Trojans of Troy, led by a man who we slandered his name last week, And in the first half, the slander was so rightfully justified until the fourth quarter. Tucker Kilcrease, a.k.a. El Matador, as he grabbed the bull by the horns and scored 21 unanswered points as the Troy Trojans went on to win 21-17 against the Buffalo Bulls on the road in a game that saved head coach Jared Parker's job. Shout out Tay Meadows yet again being the workhorse, 68 yards on 14 carries, a touchdown.
Kilcrease looked good on the ground, man.
Yeah, 16 carries for 50 yards. I'm not going to say it. It's a 1.1 average. He did have a touchdown on his feet. Tucker got the job done. Does this make me buy into my Trojans anymore right now? No.
Absolutely.
The judge is still out on that. Can't wait to get into Sunbelt play, see what we're made of. But yeah, I had to give the boys a shout out for that awesome comeback win against Buffalo, 21-17. Now we let you know who was fired last week. Now we're gonna let you know who's on the hot seat. And I will kick us off with Sam Pittman of the Arkansas Razorbacks. He's been on the hot seat pretty much ever since he got the job there. They beat two very bad opponents, Alabama A&M and Arkansas State, in weeks 1 and 2. They barely lost Ole Miss, fumbled late in the game, and barely lost to Memphis, fumbled late in the game. Ignore the Memphis score, completely wrong. They've got Texas A&M coming in to Fayetteville in a few weeks. I think that is the game that if he loses, because I do not think they're going to win their next 2 games. So you're sitting at 2-4. The fan base can be pretty upset. A&M, one of those games that's like historically winnable for Arkansas. I think that's where they lose. They're 2-5, and we see an interim head coach at Fayetteville. Luke,
Could
you gotta
we
let me
think
know.
Bobby Petrino
Dude,
takes back over? I think that's what a lot of the Arkansas fans want.
I think that'd be elite. I think that'd be an elite storyline.
Yeah,
Luke, who's on your hot seat?
man, I got Luke Fickell.
I think rightfully so.
Because this Maryland, you were 10-point favorites against Maryland, and you lose by 17. I mean, that is awful. And you scored a garbage time touchdown late. Like, they were up 27.
No, Maryland dominated that game.
Yeah, 27-3. Like, the quarterback play is awful. Your defense is not very good. You've been blown out. You only scored 17 on Miami of Ohio. I mean, you beat MTSU. That's whatever. But you got thumped by Bama. I mean, I don't think they win their next game because they play Michigan. So I don't think they go to the big house and win. But I think when they play Iowa and they lose to Iowa, which is somewhat of a, I won't say rival, but
Yeah.
you need to beat Iowa, that's where he gets canned because then you have Ohio State and Oregon after that.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it doesn't happen to Iowa, it's definitely happened to those 2 games.
Yes,
and
but-
you don't want to fire someone after losing to like top 5 teams in the country. So you're probably going to do it after the Iowa game. I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah. Special shout out to Billy Napier, also absolutely on the hot seat right now.
Yeah.
And Mike Gundy.
Yeah,
You are Oklahoma State, so that's why we didn't put you on here. I just don't think they would fire him mid-season at all. But he's definitely like on the, hey, maybe it's time to retire seat for Oklahoma State.
It's going to be like a Stoops situation
Yeah.
with Kentucky. Is he's either in a step down or like they're not going to fire him. So
I
it'll be
agree.
interesting to see what happens.
I agree. The panic meter is back after week 4 of college football. Again, on a little bar with 5 different categories. We have We Gucci being 5 out of 5, the best. Calm Down, We Good, 4 out of 5. I don't feel good about this, 3 out of 5. It's almost hit the fan at 2 out of 5. And the worst is Panic, which we have changed from to be a little more kid-friendly on the show. Our first team, Illinois. Luke, you're on the calmer side. Let me know why.
I'm not at panic right now just because now with the playoff, the extended playoff, if their goal is playoff as aspiration.
100%.
You can go in with 1 loss and get or 2 losses, get in the playoffs. So I think Yes, you got murdered. That's why I'm at almost hit the fan. I'm not at panic just because of the one loss thing playoff. And I still think Altmaier's a good quarterback who can have this team win some games. So,
I agree. Almeyer's a good quarterback. I think the offensive line is truly an issue. And if Indiana's getting to them like that, I'm in panic mode. If they do not get it figured out on the offensive line, I mean, let's look at their upcoming games. You got USC next. Okay, tough matchup. Let's say you win that, and you're probably going to beat Purdue. But then you got Ohio State. You're going to lose to Ohio State. So, I mean, does a 2-loss Illinois team get in the playoff with? And again, we're talking panic meter for Illinois. Every team has a different level of panic meter. This one's like playoff contention because they did have playoff aspirations going into this year, being ranked so highly in the preseason. I'm on panic mode. I don't think they get past USC, especially coming off the 63-10 loss. And I definitely don't think they get past Ohio State. I think this is a 9-3, 8-4 Illinois team that cannot block worth anything.
Yeah, and I think Washington this year has looked good too.
Yeah, they have.
That could be a tough game too, especially if they go out to Washington. The only thing that's interesting with USC playing them is they're having to come to Elm. And we know with the Big Ten, and especially in the ACC too, when the teams from California are having to travel halfway across the country or more, usually does not fare well for them. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
We'll see. Big question marks right now in Champlain, Illinois. Auburn, welcome to your debut on the Panic Meter. We agree.
Yeah.
It's calm down. We're good. Auburn faithful, I know you think you got hosed by the referees, and you may have. We should play a good game against who we think is a very good Oklahoma team. 24-17, nothing to hang your head about. Both defenses look good. Jackson Arnold going into a hostile environment. He used to play there. Big game for him. Almost got the job done. Didn't quite, so you lost. So that's why you're on the panic meter. But I think you're in agreement here. I mean, things don't look bad for Auburn right now. This may be a Hugh Freeze team that we saw at Ole Miss. So, Auburn, calm down. We're good on my end, on Luke's end as well, but he's going to give a little bit of a take on it.
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, you're losing to a top 10 team in Oklahoma, in our opinions. That's why I think we're fine. But I do want to touch on Oklahoma just a tad bit. That running game, they have nothing.
No.
So they need to establish a running game if they're going to go any farther. But like you said, Auburn, they're going to Oklahoma. I mean, you got to play at A&M next. So if you lose that, then I think we're in true worry mode. But you got Georgia, okay, you got Missouri, and you got this is a hard schedule.
I mean, their schedule is very daunting. You've got A&M, Georgia, Missouri, Arkansas,
which could be complete crap.
You got Kentucky and Mercer should be winnable. But then you got Vandy at Vandy, and then the Iron Bowl. I mean,
yeah,
I hate to say this, but as it stands right now, I'm not 100% sold this Auburn team's going to make a bowl game.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think it does help them a lot, though, that they play the Georgia, Missouri, and Bama all at home. But still, I mean, those are high-quality teams that we've seen so far. Dude, that's complete coin flips. And you're having to go to Kyle Field, too.
They're sitting at 3-1 right now. They play Mercer in Kentucky. So we'll say that's 5 wins. That means you've got to win one of these games at A&M, Georgia, Missouri, at Arkansas, Vandy, and Bama. I mean, you could definitely beat Arkansas.
Yeah.
So there's your 6th win, but it's at Arkansas.
That would be my only worry is because you're having to go to Arkansas.
Yep.
And Arkansas, I don't think it's not the easiest place in the world to play.
No, it's not.
It's a very rough environment.
Although I will say, I think at that point of the season, Arkansas is going to pack things in. So you should be all right. As he did that ball backwards.
Okay.
Moving on. South Carolina. Back on the panic meter. We're in agreement here. It's almost hit the fan. And the reason I'm not in panic mode is Lenore Sellers look pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think this is a South Carolina team a lot of people have already written off. Don't think you can write them off quite yet. I think Missouri is a good football team. And are they going to be the playoff team we thought South Carolina was going to be? No. Do I think they may be an 8-14 that's really fighting hard in the SEC? Yeah, I do, especially with Lenore's throwing for 302 yards and 2 touchdowns. The problem is right now on the running game. Yeah.
-9. And I don't know how they calculate Sellers yards, if some of that's sack yardage.
Yeah, I think sack yardage is included.
Okay, yeah. So we take that out. You only rushed for 19 yards. And you only carried the ball 11 times or 12 times.
No, they're pretty one-dimensional.
So, I mean, that is a huge worry because obviously you're not going to outduel people with pass. You have to establish the run a little bit. And if you don't have your little special teams shenanigans going on for South Carolina, that is why I'm almost hit the fan. So
I agree. Utah, welcome to the panic meter. We didn't think you were going to be here.
Mhm.
I don't feel good about this, Utah. You got beat by a backup quarterback at home. Your offense looks like it's returned to the days the grandfather was there. 34-10. Now, granted, the Big 12, not the strongest P4 conference, which is why, basically the only reason why I don't feel good about this. But, I mean, yeah, pull up their schedule.
They played nobody. That is why I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, it's BYU, it's at Baylor, and it's Arizona State. Are the 3 legitimate games you have left?
I mean, maybe Kansas.
Maybe Kansas. So maybe you have 4 legit games that you can easily all win. So you could still end up being 11-1, which is why I don't feel good about this. Luke,
I'm split.
You're split.
Because I do think this is a little bit of a credit to Texas Tech's defense, but Dampier.
Oh, and for those on Spotify, he's split between I don't feel good about this and it's almost at the fan.
Yeah. And Dampier, like we already touched on earlier, did not look good. 2 interceptions, 162 yards. That offense was awful. So that is why I'm kind of teetering in the middle because we know that Utah defense is solid, which, I mean, when your defense is out there for most of the game.
I think that definitely I don't think we can discredit Utah's defense quite yet. I think they were just left out there for so long, Texas Tech was going to score.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one aspect of it. But if you can't score a little bit more than 10 points in the biggest game of your season, your whole season, that's a big issue. And I don't think we get 2 Big 12 games.
I don't either.
So,
and I think this has really sold me on Texas Tech. I think they're legit. And I'm excited to see what the Red Raiders do.
Yeah.
Our dogs of the week both come from a big conference, mind the Big 10 years of Big 12. I'm starting off with Indiana's own quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. He went 24-23, 267 yards, 5 tutties. 5 tutties against an Illinois defense we called good for like 3 weeks in a row now. We got fraud checked hard on Illinois. Fernando Mendoza, now the Heisman betting favorite at plus 800
on
FanDuel. So, do I think he's going to be the Heisman? No. That's way overhyped right now.
Would be pretty insane.
It would be insane if Indiana quarterback transfer from Cal was the Heisman. But he does get my dog of the week performance. He played like an absolute animal out there. Diced up that Illinois defense. Didn't even play the whole game. Shout out you, Fernando Mendoza. Luke, this dude had a hell of a game.
I thought this was a fake stat line. Again, like 8 receptions, 254 yards. I think Hoover threw for 350. So he had almost all of his yards, plus the 3 touchdowns. I mean, that is absurd.
Absurd. That is the definition of screw it. Eric McAllister's down there somewhere.
Yes, I know. And, I mean, that is one hell of a game to go in, beat your rivals in SMU for the last time that they could play. However, if they don't schedule it for however much longer, which is a little sad. But still, beat your rival, take over the game. That's why he's my dog.
Absolutely. Single-handedly carried him to a Billionaire Bowl win.
Yes. It's a great name.
Yeah. Hey, stamp it. All right, guys. Billionaire Bowl.
Sports.
Yes, for Sports. You're first. The most anticipated top 25 poll in the country. The Week 5 Swiss Army Sports, top 25. We're consistent at the top. Ohio State, you are number 1. Number 2 stays LSU. We somehow, in our voting processes here, bumped Penn State up to 3 from 4 and moved Miami back to 4 from 3. Georgia staying at 5, Oregon at 6, FSU at 7, getting a little ghost bump. Oklahoma at 8, Texas Tech has entered the top 10 where they belong at 9.
And I mean, we've been saying this for
We have.
weeks. I mean, in the AP poll, they've been down at like, I think 20s for the whole year. We've had them up there and finally get just they deserve.
Yes, they do. A&M rounds out the top 10 at 10. Texas still staying right out the top 10 in our poll at 11. Indiana, big jump to 12. They are officially in contention for the playoff. Bama jumps Ole Miss, again, somehow on a bye week on our voting at 13. 14 is Ole Miss. 15 stays consistent at Vanderbilt. Tennessee jumps 2 spots up to number 16. Michigan up from 21 to number 17.
Who's got them that high?
I juiced them decently.
Okay. I think I kept them like at 20.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I got to be Nebraska. I try not to home in the poll, so I'm like, I'll just 20.
I had them at 17.
Okay.
So I think Michael did too.
Yeah.
18, Georgia Tech. 19, Missouri. Welcome to the top 20. And my least favorite team in this
here,
top 25
Ohio
poll
State.
is Iowa State at 20, but you haven't
They got the ghost drop in the AP poll. They dropped 2 spots after
Damn.
a bye week.
ghost drop.
Or, I think
Yeah, the AP poll has these clowns at 14. We have been 20. The only reason they're not out of our top 25 poll is 1, they're undefeated. 2, they haven't done anything technically to deserve our loss of respect. However, they just looked terrible against Arkansas State, and we will hold that against them.
their schedule is so cake.
It's so cake. 21, the best G5 team in the country, the USF Bulls, are now a potential college game day matchup between
I know.
USF and Memphis.
Down
Cannot
on
wait.
Beale,
Heck
drinking
yeah.
at 5 a.m.
We can't wait. BYU at 22. Welcome to the poll. To these next 2 teams. USC at 23. And then America's team from Stark Vegas, Mississippi. The Mississippi State Bulldogs, as they should be in the top 25 in both the AP and coaches. They're not, but they will be in the Swiss Army Sports, who just seems to be ahead of the trend anyway. I mean, they eventually follow suit.
Yeah.
State, welcome to the poll. You've got a massive Week 5 matchup against
Tennessee.
number 16 in our poll, Tennessee. And because we can't drop you from top 10 to out of the poll with any reason, unlike the AP poll sometimes does, Illinois at 25. Utah, you received some votes. Luke, any takeaways?
I mean, if I'm comparing this to the AP poll, now I had Notre Dame in it last week. I gave them a vote to be at 25 because I'm like, same line. You're in the top 10, lost to 2 top 10 teams. You should have gone out there and not let Purdue score. Now, granted, like you said, different Purdue team, but you should have like only held them to a touchdown or so and just murdered them. I mean, they hung around in it, and that's kind of why I dropped. I don't mind TCU being in the fold. I think TCU's got a good offense. They're very untested just because you played North Carolina, who sucks, and SMU I don't think is the greatest. You go to Arizona State next week, so we'll see if that holds up.
The verdict's out on TCU, a team I flirted with to put in the poll.
I swapped between them and State, so I was like, I'll just give State because Arizona State beat.
Yeah. So what got State in the poll for me was Arizona State winning against Baylor. Made it more of a quality win. I didn't have Notre Dame in it last week, and I don't think they did anything to deserve my vote this week.
Yeah.
But if they were in, they're going to be 25. And I think as of right now, as we sit, Illinois still deserves to be in the top 25. But we will. The verdict is out for the Fighting Illini. The NFL was a pretty good week for all of us, all around our predictions. Thursday Night Football, we hammered it. The Buffalo Bills got it done against the Dolphins. All-time hater, the producer, picked the Bengals, and they got railroaded by the Purple People Eaters in Minnesota. The Vikings destroy Cincinnati.
That defense ate them alive. It was like honestly hard to watch.
Carson Wentz is back. The Vikings take down the Bengals. This is our Colts. This is our team. We do bleed blue. And they took down the Tennessee Titans.
Danny Dimes.
Indiana Jones, brother.
They sadly had the punt today, though.
Unfortunate. They still dropped 41, though.
Get his reps in, man. I mean, you got a long season ahead. He's on his load management for the first 2 weeks. I love what the Colts are doing.
I do too, dude. Fun team to watch. The Titans are terrible.
Oh, hold on. I got to rant about this. The stupid Patriots, 5 turnovers. The one pick that got tipped, whatever. Ramondre Stevenson, go learn Chinese. You fumbled. You should have had a touchdown. He fumbled beforehand. Then Drake May fumbled. And then Antonio Gibson fumbled. Travion Henderson might have solidified himself to the back because he's the only one who can hold on to the damn football. I was livid. I was so freaking livid at this Patriots team because I should have cashed out. I'm sorry. Screw the Steelers. Sorry. Man. It's just
the mic won't pick it up. I'm laughing so hard.
I cannot believe.
So if you can't tell, a certain someone on this pod played the Patriots in their parlay today. The Steelers are not good, dude. Don't let this fool you. Their record.
Every time I play something involved with the Steelers, it goes the opposite way. I literally bet on them twice, and I bet on Steelers to win last week. They lost. I bet on the freaking Pats to win this week. They lose. Just not touching the Steelers for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, take a breath.
Rough day. Rough.
I'll have my tangent in a little bit. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The Eagles.
This is one. How will we get 2 kicks blocked?
Here's the thing, Vegas. I've got my eye on you, dude. You blocked the kick and took it back for a touchdown to cover.
Yeah, seriously.
Rams should have won that game. Eagles are fraudulent. The Buccaneers, almost blew that against the Jets. Very lackluster win for the Bucs, but they got it done.
So I didn't know this. Apparently the guy who cut Baker from Carolina is on staff with Jets.
Yeah, it's personal game for Baker.
Personal.
I was wrong about this. Geno Smith is abysmal. Completely miraged, but what I saw in week 1, thought I was going to get again here against Marcus Mariota's Washington Redskins.
I will say this, Geno still delivered 289 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but they only scored 24 and gave up 41. The Raiders' defense atrocious. Commanders got that good done. Let me tell you who was also atrocious today. It was the Atlanta Falcons. Got 30-pieced, 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers, who y'all went with y'all's preseason pick and got it. I went with the smart pick and was wrong. So fair enough. The Jaguars got it done in an exciting AFC South matchup against the Texans. The Texans are now 0-3, which is a death wish pretty much in the NFL.
And that offensive line is awful.
They are awful. In the comeback of the NFL this week, America's team, the Cleveland Browns, took down the evil Green Bay Packers in a thrilling fashion. Walk-off field goal. Love to see it when Micah Parsons loses against the worst team in the NFL. Congratulations, Cleveland. Packers, y'all thought y'all were Super Bowl contenders.
I know, and we already stated, we love when the Packers lose, but the fact that you're 12, 13-point favorites, I get you're going to Cleveland. You scored 10 points.
Offense looked terrible.
I get the receivers aren't your high-name receivers, but Jordan Love's shown to be a good quarterback. They've been able to run the ball and just dink and dunk. This Cleveland defense is actually solid.
Guys, sorry for my face. Russell Wilson just threw a Stevie Wonder down the field into triple covers. Don't even
realize it's not the Cowboys defense.
Facts. We'll get into that.
That Brown defense is actually pretty good.
Legit. The Browns defense, just looking at it now, if they play like they did today against the Packers, could play their way into talking about playoffs.
No,
legitimately. If they play like they did today, Joe Flacco can score 14 points.
Yes.
As I stated before the season started, there is a certain quarterback in the NFL who's going to have a sophomore slump, and the team would suffer because of it. Bo Nix is washed in year 2 as the LA Chargers take down the Denver Broncos. The producer went with Denver.
Herbert, I want to say this, is also a wizard.
Wizard.
Football. Like,
Ever since he started dating Madison Beer, this dude is on a different level. The Chargers take down the Broncos. The Broncos fall to 1-2. Notable. In a game that was on red zone a lot because the Seahawks could not stop scoring. They railroaded the Saints. We were all correct on that. I'll go back to it. The 49ers walked it off against the Cardinals with a field goal. Mac Jones, dude. Daddy Mac.
It was so.
Game was so drunk.
At the end of the game, I didn't really think it was a hold. I mean, he kind of just lets him go, and then for some reason taps him on the back, and that's why I don't know. Cardinals should be 3-0.
Yeah, they should. The Chicago Bears defeated the Dallas Cowboys today. Matt Eberflus needs to be fired. Now. Is it a personnel thing too? Absolutely. We're beat up on D. We need Overshawn back. Was Bland playing today?
No,
We need Bland back. Bad. Secondary looks abysmal. Our defense looks like Swiss cheese. Dak didn't look great. He looked fine for most of the game. Then he had to try to force some things to make it possible for us, and we couldn't get it done. There are so many positives about us. Our running game is what it hasn't been in previous years for us to be good. Offensive line looks fine. Dak looks fine. CD getting hurt killed us in this game. But the moral of the story is, out of 32 teams in the NFL, we have the 32nd defense in the country. We are awful on defense. We made Caleb Williams look good. He's not good. As a fellow Cowboys fan, please let me know how you feel.
I did see this. Why are we playing Donovan Wilson at the high safety? He is a rover, like more of a in the box little hybrid. So because like we saw it last week too, he gets smoked in his deep third coverage all the freaking time. And also, I think Dak played okay, but we've got to stretch the football down the field. Like Ferg had a freaking legacy game.
Okay, yeah, if you had Ferg in fantasy, dude, shout out you. I mean, he ate.
Because it was drop back, dump, and like Ferg was just getting 5, which is fine for 5 yards. But like, I want to see us stretch the ball down the field. We got Pickens, a good receiver. Tolbert, I think it's an underrated wide receiver 3, and you got Turpin who can fly. I mean, you got to stretch the ball a little bit down the field, and then that's where you hit it with the run where they're backed off. It was just very frustrating to watch.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating indeed. The Chiefs are up 6-0 on the Chiefs are up 6-0 on the Giants right now with the ball, and then Monday Night Football, as we will get into, will be a banger tomorrow. Obviously, not counting SNF, MNF. Luke, you're 20-10, dude. Top of the leaderboard. Yeah. Good job.
Hey, one in both.
Yes, sir. I am 18-12. Michael, 16-14. Bottom end producer. Both picks. Just letting you know.
Might have to do double punishment.
Double punishment would be elite. Our teams of the week and teams that are weak. Luke, if you notice, I had a last-minute change.
Yes, I did notice this.
Team of the week, obviously. Obviously, is the Minnesota Vikings. Destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals. Carson Wentz looked like Carson Wentz and the Eagles. You know my stance on this. I want to hear what you say. Do you stay with Carson Wentz?
I stay with Carson Wentz until he proves me otherwise.
I agree.
Carson Wentz looked great. But we all know Carson Wentz will do Carson Wentz things. And if he does not do Carson Wentz things, I'd ride with him. But it's going to be very interesting to see because JJ's the voted captain. He was named the starter. I don't know if they'll just bench him right away after Wentz has 2 good games. It'll be very interesting to see up in Minnesota.
As I said before, Kevin O'Donnell is the resurrector of quarterbacks that started well and fell off or never got going and were supposed to be good, and he resurrects their careers. I think this is another example. Carson Wentz will be great, and this Minnesota team will make the playoffs, no matter who's the quarterback, but especially if Carson Wentz is. Luke, talk to me about your team of the week, brother.
Like we said, we love when the freaking Packers lose. The Browns, like we've already touched on this mostly. The Browns defense looked elite today. That defensive front ate that Packer offensive line, which Packers offensive line is one of the more solid offensive lines in the league, and they demolished them.
Yes, they did.
I mean, Love freaking just looked like awful. He had that he threw the pick.
Yep.
And then Jacobs fumbling. I mean, it's just textbook Browns game. We love to see them get on the board for a win. That's why they're my team of the week.
My now your week, the 1-2 Dallas Cowboys. Defense is abysmal. We've already said enough about you. I don't even want to give you more airtime right now. That's how mad I am at you. I will still strap up my jersey for next week and root just as hard this week.
Yep.
But I'm pissed off. Cowboys, we suck. Now your week. Luke, I wholeheartedly agree with your now your week.
The turnovers is such an issue. It's not that hard. You have a football. You don't let it go. I can't. Just please move on. They should not have lost this game. They should have been up 3 touchdowns. They fumbled it twice inside the 5. How do you do that? I mean, I get maybe getting turned over one time, but you do it once. They should have won this game. They should have beat the Patriots or the Steelers. That's why they are my team. Or Patriots are very weak.
Oh, they're weak.
They're weak.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun,
Doom, doom. Dun, 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 dun.
dun, 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 dun,
Doom. Dun, 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 dun.
dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Need this low budget operation. We'll have music eventually.
Maybe. I kind of like our version better. The Lions are heading to Baltimore to face the Ravens. We have our best bets ready for you. I love the over here.
Yeah.
I think both these teams can score. I don't think neither of these defenses as Bucker just missed a 40-yard field goal. I don't think either of these defenses are very elite. So I like the 53.5 over. This is absolutely like a 35-31, hell, even a 42-38 game. It'll be a shootout tomorrow. Love it. I also, at plus 400, would love to see, and I think we will see, for the 3rd week in a row, DeAndre Hopkins will score a touchdown. Lamar Jackson has been finding him in the end zone. And pretty much the only place he's been finding him is in the end zone. Love it. Plus 400, good price. Take a DeAndre Hopkins anytime touchdown. And just remember, pretty sure we went 3 for 4 on our Monday Night Football bets last week. We've been doing good on Monday night, boys. We've been raking it on Monday night. Luke, what you got for us?
Give me a Gibby anytime touchdown. I mean, they're going to run the ball. I mean, this Ravens defense, it's not really shown outside of playing the Browns, but they have not really shown to be the greatest defense, in my opinion. So I think Gibbs gets in the end zone today. And then Lamar.
I agree.
I mean, Lamar is going to end up running this football a little bit. He's going to break off. Even if he has like 5 rushes, he will break one off for 30. So that's why I'm taking him at 50 yards rushing at plus 121.
Love it. So I have the over at 53.5 and a DeAndre Hopkins anytime touchdown. Luke with a Jahmyr Gibbs anytime tutty at minus 120. And Lamar Jackson 50-plus rushing yards at plus 121. So at time of recording, these are the scores. Preseason hockey is back. Not too much to analyze, as just, again, kind of letting y'all know it's on. My Oilers up front right now on the Flames 1-0, and tied in the other game, split squad, that they're doing 0-0. My other team, my beloved Nashville Predators, destroyed the Sith Lords that are the Florida Panthers.
Evil Robo.
The evil Robolobs. 5-0. And they're up 2-1 right now in the second period in game 2. The only takeaway I have right now for preseason hockey is St. Louis does not look good right now. Preseason, though, guys. A lot of rookies are playing. But just fun to watch hockey yet again. As far as baseball goes, usually a Wednesday night thing for us. But, Luke, let's weigh in, since we're so close to October, on what's going on around the wild card.
So the Guardians have won 9 straight,
I told you, dude.
and they are one back of the Tigers for the division. So I mean, it's a little bit wacky in the AL Central because the Tigers have had a massive lead in that division for the longest time, and their Guardians just clawing their way back. And
Yeah,
then the Reds, I think, have the tiebreaker over the Mets.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah,
a certain someone can be heard on this podcast for the past 2 weeks saying the two teams that would make it into the playoffs from the outside looking in were the Guardians in the AL and the Reds in the NL. But you know what I'd love to see more towards near the middle of the pack in that National League race? Your boys, the St. Louis Cardinals, are not out of it quite yet.
mathematically, they're not
They
eliminated.
are mathematically not eliminated. 4 games back. Could we see some late September magic? Probably not. But I want the Reds in, so I'm excited about that. The Mets continually lose.
Oh, it's hilarious.
So yeah, and plus the Mets have to go play the Cubs now. So we'll see. The Reds can keep winning, and the Mets keep losing. And I agree that AL Central race is heating up.
It's going to be very interesting because if the Guardians do overtake, the Tigers might miss the playoffs.
Which is insane to
Yes.
think about right now.
I know because they've been atop that division all year. You got the Cy Young and Scooble. So, I mean, it's going to be very interesting down the stretch.
Yes, it is. All right, wrapping up episode 8. Best things that happened this weekend. I will kick us off. The Cardiac Trojans reinvigorated my Saturday night, coming back to beat the Buffalo Bulls. Love it when Troy gives you a little mini heart attack, a little adrenaline rush in the fourth quarter. Shout out Troy, Cardiac Trojans getting it done. Luke.
The Liberty Bowl is great to go down to the Liberty. I obviously do not go down to the Liberty Bowl much because I do not like to get shot or robbed.
100%.
But it was a great time down there. The only issue with me being down there was I spent a lot of money on alcohol. So I did not want to open my credit card. I think I had like 4 beers at the stadium.
Which is a lot, by the way, guys. They're like $15 a pop.
Yeah. But hey, they're 25-ounce cans. So
There you go. Dude, the witching hour was insane
Freaking
today.
elite.
Insane witching hour in the NFL Week 3 on Red Zone. Had all those blocked field goals, comebacks, then people eliminating the comebacks with the Buccaneers. I mean, the Browns winning late. Great witching hour. Loved every bit of it. Segmenting into your second best thing this weekend.
Browns actually winning a football game. When the Browns win at football games, life is just better.
100%.
You got to love the Browns. And they found themselves a running back, which I'm not.
Winshaw Junk is,
Went to beating up on women to beating up on the Packers.
Yep, that's a thing. My third is hockey being back. My favorite sport to watch. Love it. Tuned in to some preseason games today while football was on TV. Love watching some stick and puck. Luke, I love your third thing.
This Poggy, man. I mean, he's filling in for Sharon Moore.
Did you see his quote?
I'm going to go home, eat ice cream, probably go to the hospital or whatever.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm going to go home, smoke a cigar, have some Haagen-Dazs, coffee, ice cream, and probably go to the hospital after.
Yeah. Did you see him and Saban talking?
Yeah.
So, where he's like something about cars. He's like, oh, he was doing that before NIL even started. So started like he didn't directly call him out on it, but he like kind of alluded to it. It was actually kind of funny. So I mean, dude's a legend.
And then when Saban said, "Oh well, when it was time to go to the paperwork," he kept reaching in his pockets and he goes, "Tell that to the Rolls Royce dealership." I just walked out of last minute. I was like, "Dude, Big Poggy is him."
National treasure, man. I love it.
Well, that'll do it for episode 8 of Swiss Army Sports. This has been Will Spain and Luke Wallman signing off until Wednesday. Good night.